Hey everybody, D Shadar here, and the title of this video is Leave Fluffy Wiccans Alone. Now, as we all know, fluffy Wiccans are those who are full of fluff. They're all about the light and love, all about the peace of deity in the universe, and they're hyper positive about their faith and about the world in general. Basically ignoring the darker aspects or the less than positive aspects that are apparent in life. And a lot of people online, you see, they basically dog them out and insult them a lot because of them being so positive and unicorns and butterflies and fluffy bunnies and stuff like that. But I say personally, leave them alone because any person who is new to the faith, especially when they haven't for the longest they haven't felt really accepted in their faith or really felt a sense of synergy, like they didn't feel like they belonged, then it's all of a sudden they find a faith where they're accepted for who they are, they feel like they belong, and they just have this sense of just pure joy. Anyone who's new to anything, has felt that raw sense of joy when you just love every aspect. Well, it seems as if you love every aspect of whatever it is you're excited about. So we shouldn't get mad at them or insult them so much because of that, because that's what everyone goes through. It's just a phase that they go through. It's not something that'll be permanent. Because for example, back when I first got into the faith, I was what someone would call a fluffy Wiccan. I was all about the positive aspects, the great mother goddess. I felt so free because I wasn't confined by the constraints that I felt or put on me by Christianity, and I could just be me and I wouldn't have to worry about going to hell or being punished or being insulted or harassed by other Christians when I was Christian at the time, and I could just live. I could just enjoy my life. But as time wore on, I started looking into other aspects, and eventually I am who I am now. And even now, I'm still continuing the process of constant evolution and learning new things and new skills for my spirituality, and so that I can better commune with deity, myself, and with nature as a whole. So, every person who was once everyone who is an expert in one thing was once a beginner. So to act like we're all high and mighty and we're better than them, that doesn't do anything but put us down, because it's like, okay, you have been Wiccan for X amount of years and you're going to attack someone who's a new convert? Like, that's so demeaning to the person who claims to be so high and mighty and have so much experience, because they're wasting their time on someone who's new. Why not, instead of putting the energy towards attacking someone, you try and help them and actually try and make them see other aspects that may not be as positive and get them more grounded into the spirituality. I feel like that's just a big waste of time. You have all these videos on YouTube talking about, this is how you know you're a fluffy Wiccan, and this is why fluffy Wiccans are bad for the faith. Screw that. That's why I have this video, leave them alone, because they're new. Once time passes, they'll soon mature, and they'll be just like, quote, one of us, and they'll see the many aspects of the universe. So, it's not right to harass them, because that all that does is make them feel like, damn, I went from one faith that I didn't feel, where I felt I didn't belong, and to another faith where a whole faith group is essentially attacking me. So we're not doing ourselves or them any justice by being assholes. We can only help the community by bettering it, not constantly criticizing it. There's enough of that in this world already. In social culture, you got, with these impossible standards that we set as a society. There's enough of that there. There's enough of that with all these other faiths that make these new converts want to convert to Wicca. So we shouldn't just put on added pressure for them to be like how we want them to be, because we're doing them wrong. And that's very that's very much the opposite of what Wicca is. We don't set all types of standards for people just so we can be happy, or so that they don't have to worry about us messing with them. We're supposed to be the accepting ones. We're supposed to take the moral high ground. So we need to stop being a bunch of assholes, and we should do what we need to do to make sure that they get a good grounding in spirituality and actually teach them instead of harming them. So, I just really want to get that out there because I didn't see a whole lot of videos talking about not messing with fluffy Wiccans. Only, once I did my research, talking about, why they're so bad and all that kind of stuff. More hurt than help. So, this is Dishadar here with my opinion. Thank you for watching. Bye.